Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's video. Ever since losing Isaiah Hartenstein to the OKC Thunder back in early July, the Knicks have been in need of a replacement center. The Knicks do have Mitchell Robinson, but with Mitch being incredibly injury prone over the past 2 years, it would make sense for the Knicks to pick up another center. This is why Walker Kessler is a name that's been linked to the Knicks all off-season long. The Jazz have been shopping Walker Kessler since July, and while several teams are interested, nobody has reached the Jazz asking price. The Knicks did have trade discussions with the Jazz for Walker Kessler, but there's no indication that the teams were close to getting a deal done. So would Walker Kessler be a good fit on the Knicks? And should they trade for him? Let's talk about it. But first, let's do a brief summary of Kessler's career for those that aren't familiar with him. He was drafted back in 2022 by the Grizzlies, but after 2 trades that same offseason, he found himself on the Utah Jazz. It didn't take long for Walker Kessler to establish himself as one of the top young big men in the NBA. He played 74 games for the Jazz in his rookie year, and from January to the end of that season, he became a starter. In 40 games starting for the Jazz, Kessler put up a double-double, averaging 11 points, 10 rebounds, and over 2 blocks per game. The incredible production he put up his rookie year led to him finishing 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting and making the All-Rookie First Team. Later that summer, he would play for Team USA in the FIBA World Cup. Coming off an excellent rookie year, Kessler was looking to make a second-year leap, but unfortunately he regressed. To be fair to Kessler, he battled injury playing in just 64 games that season. He also got hurt very early into the year, and when he came back, he lost his starting spot to John Collins. Last season was considered a down year for him, but he still put up good numbers as a backup center, averaging 8 points, 8 boards, and 2 blocks in just 23 minutes a game. Now we have to talk about how Walker Kessler would fit on the Knicks, but first, I have to mention today's sponsor, BetUS. If you think you know basketball, you could place bets on the NBA, and if you're correct, you can win some serious cash. I think the Knicks have a strong shot at going all the way, so I'm going to bet on them winning the championship. If you sign up, use the code YouTube150 and receive 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and 125% on the second and third deposit. Back to Walker Kessler, I think he would perfectly address the Knicks' needs at center. Offensively, his game is pretty limited. Most of his scoring will come from catch and finish opportunities. Where Kessler really provides the most impact is his ability to rebound and defend. Over the past couple of seasons, Kessler has been one of the NBA's best interior defenders, averaging over 2 blocks per game in both his rookie and sophomore season. Coach Tibbs loves for his centers to crash the offensive glass, and Kessler is great at getting offensive boards, which creates a ton of second chance opportunities for the team. If the Knicks were to trade for Kessler, he probably wouldn't start. He's likely backing up Mitchell Robinson, but he would be a great insurance policy in case Mitch goes down with a season-ending injury. He's also just 23 years old and still on his rookie deal, so he also fits the timeline of the rest of the team. Overall, Kessler makes a lot of sense for the Knicks. What's probably kept the Knicks from trading for him has been the Jazz asking price. It was reported that the Knicks had trade talks with the Jazz not too long ago, and it's unclear what the Jazz asked in exchange for Kessler, but it was clearly enough for the Knicks to decline a trade. If Walker Kessler can't be acquired at the right price, I think the Knicks are better off going into the season with what they have. This may not be ideal, but the Knicks may have the backup center they need on the roster. Jericho Sims hasn't gotten much playing time throughout his first 3 years in the league, but he's one of the most athletic centers, and he's shown the potential to be a great defender and rebounder. He's going into a contract year with the Knicks, so this season will make or break him. If he has a breakout season, then the Knicks wouldn't even have to trade for Kessler. Another potential breakout candidate for the Knicks is Precious Achiuwa. He was initially just a throw-in for the OG Anunoby trade, but after the Knicks suffered several injuries to key frontcourt players, he earned more minutes and really thrived as a backup big man. Precious is a bit undersized for the center position at just 6'9", but he showed last year that he plays much bigger than his height. Last season, he excelled as a defender and rebounder, and he showed off some nice offensive skills for a big man. Precious re-signed with the Knicks this offseason, but it was on just a 1-year contract, so he has all the motivation to keep improving to earn a big payday next summer. Between Precious and Jericho, the Knicks have 2 young big men who could blossom next season, but if that doesn't happen, there's other centers that could be available for trade. So let's go over a few centers that I think could hit the trade market this upcoming season. One center that's been in trade rumors recently is Clint Capella of the Atlanta Hawks. He's basically the same player as Mitchell Robinson. He's also a big athletic 7-footer that defends and rebounds extremely well, and offensively doesn't bring much outside of dunks and layups. He's a good starting center, but he's also expendable since the Hawks also have Onyeka Okongwu, who appears to be their center of the future. His contract expires next season, so if the Hawks don't trade Capella, they'll probably lose him for nothing in next free agency. He's definitely a player worth targeting for the Knicks in my opinion. Another center that's been in trade rumors this offseason is Wendell Carter Jr. of the Orlando Magic. Wendell doesn't bring the shot blocking ability that Tibbs usually likes from his centers, but he's one of the most switchable bigs in the league, able to more than hold his own when defending guards and forwards. He's also an offensively skilled center with the ability to dribble and shoot the ball pretty well. Last season he knocked down 37% of his 3-pointers, making him a legit stretch 5. Having Wendell on the roster would allow the Knicks to play 5 out on offense, which would space the floor even better, creating more driving lanes. If the Magic are still shopping Wendell at next year's trade deadline, he's definitely worth considering. The last player I'll mention is Robert Williams of the Portland Trail Blazers. Last season was nothing short of a disaster for Williams, playing in just 6 games before suffering a season-ending knee injury. So right now his stock is down, but it wasn't that long ago that he was considered one of the top upcoming big men in the game. Back when he was on the Celtics, he was an elite defensive center, making the all-defensive second team back in 2022. Like Precious, he is undersized for a center at 6'9", but he plays a lot bigger than his height. He's a big, strong body at 250 pounds, he's extremely athletic with a 40-inch vertical, and he's got a monster 7'6" wingspan. This allows him to be a great rebounder and shot blocker. The only issue with him is that he's pretty injury prone, but he would be a great fit on the court. It's been reported not too long ago that the Blazers are open to moving him, so he's another trade candidate for the Knicks to consider. As we can see, there's a lot of quality centers that could hit the trade market this upcoming season. So while Walker Kessler would be an amazing pickup, I don't think it's worth trading for him if the Knicks have to give up too many assets. I would rather the Knicks go into next year with the roster they have and see if any of the young guys can take a leap forward. Can Jericho Sims get better? Can Precious Achiuwa have a breakout season? If not, the Knicks could look to trade for any of the players I mentioned earlier or any other center that ends up hitting the trade market. But what do you guys think? Should the Knicks trade for Walker Kessler? Let me see your thoughts down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing rest of your day.